Have you ever picked up a camera at home only to realize there was a roll of film that you put inside there and started shooting years and years ago? Let me tell you about the story of me and my Lomo LC-A. I bought my first camera in 1994. It was a Pentax Zoom 90 WR camera. I loved taking photos so much, I wanted to get better, so then I upgraded to a Canon SLR and I shot tons of slide film in that Canon SLR in the mid to late 90s. I got my first digital camera in 1999 and then I bought my first digital SLR in 2005. Now with these digital cameras in my life, look, I never stopped shooting film, but it certainly slowed down to a crawl between 2000 and 2010. Ironically, my renewed interest in film was thanks to an iPhone app, the Hipstamatic app. I got my iPhone in around 2010, and when I was playing around with Hipstamatic, I loved the fact that you could change lenses and change film types, and I settled on a combination that produced images that kind of looked like they were cross-processed. They were ultra saturated, they had vignettes, and they just looked fantastic to me. And I thought, yeah, I really want to now go back to film and try this look out on film. So I'd heard of lomography around that time, and I'd heard that people were using the Lomo LC-A and slide film and getting it cross-processed. So I bought some of Lomography's Xpro slide film. I got myself a Lomo LC-A from the former Soviet Union, and I went around Brisbane taking loads of photos. And although some of them look okay, look, the images didn't really blow my socks off, so I kind of stopped shooting with it. Around 2015, I started to go film camera nuts. I started with Polaroid cameras and then I moved on to compact 35mm point and shoot film cameras. I picked up my old Lomo LC-A and it seemed like it was jammed, it wouldn't wind on, I didn't know what was going on, so I decided to buy another one from the former Soviet Union. By the time that arrived, I'd actually worked out that my first Lomo LC-A worked just fine. There was a little screw at the bottom of the camera, I fiddled about with that and it's absolutely perfect. When I opened up the back of that original LC-A, I found a roll of Lomography's Xpro slide film inside, almost the whole way through the roll. So I just ruined the last couple of images I shot on there, but there were quite a few images I thought I might be able to salvage if I send it off for development. I did think about just throwing it in the bin, but in the end I thought, no, I'll send it off in case there's some usable images on there. And I must admit, I got a huge surprise which really warmed my heart. Let me start by showing you the images I found on this roll of film. So the first image is pretty faded. It still looks kind of cool in an expired kind of way. The next image here, I know this was only a few years ago. So we went to a car show at a place called Ormiston House here in the Redlands, and there's all these beautiful cars there. I'd actually just bought a Contax G2 from Japan, and I remember I took a photo of this car in particular, and there was a really weird malfunction with the film advance on the G2, and I ended up sending back the G2 to Japan and got a full refund. And here is the car here, taken on the Lomo LC-A with this slide film. There's these purple bands at the top and the bottom and a very big sort of green cast to the left hand side. But yeah, it looks kind of cool. The next image is another image I shot there. I think this is a Holden car. Again, lots of purple and green action going on there. The next image here, I couldn't work out what it was. I think it's actually the lights here in my office. So I think I was fiddling around in the office one day and took a couple of images when I was trying to fix it. And the next one here is very, very faint, but you can sort of see one of the bookshelves as well. So this is when I was trying to fix the camera. And then the next one here is Marshall Dalmatian. Again, I was probably trying to fix the camera and took a picture of him. And then we come to this photo. And when I saw this photo, I'm like, this isn't my film. I can't remember taking this. Who took this? Did someone grab this camera from my office and gone out and taken it? And then when I sort of sat back and thought about it, I think this looks like a place called Carbrook. And we used to live down there when the kids were really little. And I used to take them to these swings, this little playground by this kind of lake near farmland. And I think this is the Carbrook. So I'm thinking now, wow, okay, this image is from 2010, 2011 when we used to live down there. And I'm getting a little bit excited now. The next image has a very strong sort of color cast and whacked colors. But this is my daughter. This is my beautiful daughter. She is almost 16, but here she is there on the beach in her little outfit there with her little Wellingtons on. and she's about 3 years old. The next image is a little better. It's her again. She's not looking very happy. I'm not sure what's going on. She's a pretty happy kid, but she's obviously thinking about something, and Dad's just taking photos here. But you can see it's the light's quite strong. You can see the shadow behind her. You can also see she's got long sleeves on, which would probably suggest it was sometime in the cooler months, so maybe May to October, something like that, 2011. The next image is a close-up of those little blue soldier crabs that the kids used to chase on the beach. And you know, when the kids get too close, the little soldier crabs go down into the sand. So the kids used to love doing that. Here she is again, just playing about on the beach. Here is my son. Here's my son in a baby swing. I couldn't believe this when I saw it. So my son here is probably, I don't know, 6, 8 months old. The next couple of shots are at Victoria Point. I'm not sure if this is the same day or not, but you can sort of see those boats there, really nice. And the next one, you know, the water's very still here. And then this next photo, I was blown away when I saw this next photo. I felt like crying, I felt very emotional. Here is a selfie that a much younger Matt Loves Cameras took with his baby son. So I'm guessing my son there is probably about 8, 9 months old. And yeah, I'm looking quite a bit younger there and a little bit skinnier. So yeah, when I found that photo, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I almost thought about binning this film. I'm so happy I sent it to the lab and got it processed and scanned. So yeah, just seeing this photo alone just made me feel so happy, and I knew this was the right decision. The next image is my daughter again. This is somewhere different though, because this is at a beautiful surf beach, and Victoria Point doesn't have beautiful surf beaches. I think this is down in Kingscliff, maybe in New South Wales. She's just running along the beach there, and I took that photo, and here she is acting like a fool. She's actually in jeans and a top there, not in the swimmers. So again, it looks like it is in winter time, probably 2011. Here is a nice beach with a beach flag on, you know, so there's lifesavers there patrolling the beach. I'm not sure where that is. That could be Kingscliff. Maybe it's the Gold Coast, but it's certainly in that kind of part of the world. And then we come to 3 final images of Brisbane City. So you've got a restaurant here on the river, and there's a reflection there of the Story Bridge, which looks really cool. The next one is of the Story Bridge itself with the old wooden ferry. All those old wooden ferries are now gone. I think they got rid of them. And this final one, I think this is near the GPO building, one of the buildings there near the General Post Office, and just looking up at the sky there. So there you go, there are the images that have been sitting in my camera for 12 years. The film was Lomography's Xpro slide film, and the camera was my Lomo LC-A. Sitting here in this office 12 years, quite big color shifts, and of course it wouldn't have helped by the fact that I opened up the back of the camera not realizing there was film in there. Almost binned them. I'm so happy I sent them to the lab to get developed and scanned. The ones of my daughter playing around at Victoria Point and on the beach are just precious. And the selfie of me and my son, wow, I just love that photo. So I'm so happy that I got it developed. Have you ever developed a roll of film that you found in the back of one of your cameras years later? Give this video a thumbs up and let me know everything in the comments below.